The Meta Madness round robin continues. Alright guys, so today we have Team Red Cat going up against Rospiedol. It's actually the first match of Rospiedol in the tournament here. Now we're in the round robin phase. We have 7 teams that have signed up for the tournament and we play 3 maps between each of them. So it's not a best of 3, not a best of 5. We play out all 3 maps and every single map signifies 1 point. So teams can get a maximum of 3 points out of a pairing like this, and that's what the leaderboard is based on. And obviously not only do you qualify through a position in the leaderboard for the playoffs, but you also can get a much better seeding, which gives you a leg up as you're progressing through the playoff bracket, which is a double elimination bracket, and that's where things are going to get wild. Now, just to again remind everybody, right now we have 11 heroes that are currently permabanned for the tournament, so these heroes can't be picked at all, and every single hero that gets chosen and played cannot be played again within the same series. The number of heroes that are banned for the event is tied to sub-goals on the Twitch channel, and they can actually increase. We're locking that number once we're hitting the playoffs, but until then, if we hit more sub-goals on Twitch, more of those heroes will be banned. So if this changes, keep that in mind. That's the reason why. And I actually also adjusted it, so if you watch this on YouTube right now, if you become a member on the YouTube channel, if you click the join button underneath the video player, all of those people joining support the tournament therefore, and they will then also be added into those goals, so they will contribute to banning more heroes out. And of course, the more heroes are banned before the games even start, the crazier the drafts are going to get. Once that we have, like, I don't know, 20 pre-banned, and then you eliminate every hero that gets played once, you can imagine how quickly drafts become nuts. You get your Murky, you get your Nova, and what else. So it's going to be a bit bonkers. So again, if you want to support the tournament and you watch this on YouTube, you can hit that join button and support the stream there. Dragonshire is our first map in the best of 3 series at hand. Sorry, not best of 3 series. In the series at hand with our 3 maps. It's like really, it's a really tough habit to break actually. I'm so used to talking about best of 3s and best of 5s that it's really difficult to remind myself the entire time that we're playing out all 3 games. But in the context of Meta Madness, it obviously makes perfect sense because you're guaranteed to get that 3rd map. And it's actually been quite a lot of fun. Every map matters. So if you just screw up once and you get a bit too cocky after taking a lead, you get punished for it. So now we have Chromie as a first pick. We get Falstad and Muradin. And with Rexa already eliminated, this immediately means that we have now less and less side laners, because a lot of the top ones have already been pre-banned, as you can see on the scroll screen down at the bottom. Currently, Team Cat Red, they have been one of the underdog teams that signed up for the tournament. They've actually improved quite significantly, even over just a few games that we've already seen from them. But their first match was immediately against one of the top teams, and you could tell that tournament experience makes a huge difference there. Now, Rospiedol is definitely a strong team too. They have been a team that signed up in the last few years already for tournament after tournament. So they definitely come in here as the favorite, going for a sniper composition right off the bat with Varian plus Malfurion to lock the target down, and then come in with Chromie and try to get that burst damage through. Having Falstad drafted for the red team means that they could technically try and create a numbers advantage in certain fights on lane. If they are able to pull it off, great. Normally you would consider picking Dehaka against it, but he is permabanned for the event, so he's not going to be chosen here. We have Lucio eliminated and Samoro. And that still leaves us with not a single side laner taken. I mean, it's game number 1, so we still have plenty to go around here. You could go for Urel, Leo is obviously up, and we have, yeah, plenty to choose from here. But still a bit curious, especially what else Rospiedol is going to draft here to just draft even more into Varian now. Zagara for the bot lane, alright, and we get Brightwing for the red team. But I would expect a bit more damage and maybe even more CC for Rospiedol. Eventually in this series, Maiev is going to make an appearance too. I don't think that they necessarily need her here, but I would be surprised if Rospiedol in upcoming games in this series would not go for Maiev too. But here on Dragonshire, what we're getting... Well, okay, we're getting her already. Maiev and Chen. So here we have them. That's a pretty brutal draft. Chen is going to run the top lane. Still waiting for the hero that Chen is going up against. Zagara will likely take the bottom of the map. But, well, let's see what exactly we're going to get at this point. So, Sonya. Sonya is our final pick. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 1, Dragonshire. The round robin of Meta Madness number 9. Let's go. Rospidol in blue on the left, the Polish team with Lavakal on Chromie. We get Machko on Varian, Itrax on Chen, Bronek with Malfurion providing the additional route after Varian starts up with his taunt, and then of course Arian last but not least on Maiev. Over on the right side, Onigiri is going for Falstad. I mean, every single time that I see Onigiri play here, I am just having a craving for sushi. It's just what it is. So, yeah, I'm getting hungry already. J-Hard on Mirrodin. We got Necro on Brightwing. Irana is playing Zagara. And Dryling on Sonya. So, let the games begin, and let's see what the red team can pull off the day. They came into the tournament as the underdog, but they still have a chance to qualify for the playoffs. 6 teams in total will qualify. So if they can net themselves a point or two by getting some maps snuck in, then that would already be pretty fantastic. In this case, we had an approach actually with Zagara in one of the other games with Infest on level 1, but now Corpse Feeder is the talent of choice for the red team. Top side, already some aggression against Atrax, with Mirrodin helping out here. They went deep underneath the turrets too, but no chance to take Chen down. But of course, even taking some of the hit points off is already a step into the right direction. That's going to help them here. Mirrodin still guarding the middle. They already expect that we might see some aggression through that. Objective hasn't been announced yet, of course, but we already have the mercenary camps in play. And they are actually going for this with 3. So 3 heroes on the camp, same on the left side as the blue team is doing the same thing. Rospidol trying to claim it quickly as Sonya is already having some space at the top. Even Chen helping out now to get the camp onto lane in time. Mirrodin is just sharking around between the middle and the bot lane, looking for any kind of opportunity to get another stun connected. But the party is really going to start once that we have... actually, she's dead. Chromie is dead. J-Hard was holding back his Stormbolt for a long time, and Chromie was trying to juke it, but the Stormbolt never came, and then they simply blocked her path of retreat and were able to drop her. And that, of course, allows them to go for the camp at the bottom of the map. So, nicely done. Well played by Team Cat Red. Good job. And they're holding on to the shrine down here for now, as Sonya is attempting to claim the top. It's all about the camp at the bot lane currently, and I don't think they're going to have an issue taking this. Machko is not even trying. Machko knows he has no chance to force Mirrodin off the spot. So, yeah, they're just doing their thing. We now have Taunt in play for Varian. In the case of Mirrodin, we went into Reverberation. And while the top is getting pressured at the bottom, that mercenary camp can now wreak some havoc. They have Zagara to push with it. Can start to proc the Inspire buff, of course, on those minions as well. And it leads in some damage at least. I mean, that tower is about to go down. Mirrodin has to be a little bit careful, but Zagara is still totally fine here, and that was some decent damage. Yeah, and Urana is able to get away. So they weren't able to get the entire wall or even the tower, but they did some decent damage. And they also threaten the Dragonite now. Not for too long, but they are really establishing a bit of a presence here. So they had quite a few problems when they were going up against the Gremlins, and I still think they're the underdog in the series, but you can tell that they are already learning quite a bit from the games that they've played here. So really starting to tighten things up a little bit. But here comes the invade, and this is where Taunt finally kicks in. J-Hard already has his jump used, so the cooldown wasn't ready, and that means Mirrodin gets murdered. Mirrodin gone. Nice invade by the blue team, and it also gave them the Siege Giant camp, of course. So, Siege Giant camp is in the middle of the map. Still a bit of a push from the blue team. We have them with level 7 talents now, which means Möbius Loop in this case. And Zagara went for the Vicious Acid, so additional slows. And was just barely not hit and can retreat here. So we have a bit more control in those team fights and potentially survivability. Double control from Rospidol on the objective, but they have heroes at least in the middle. They can start interrupting. But who's going to retake? Zagara is now moving down to the bottom of the map. Mirrodin starting to come in, and I am not quite sure what they were thinking, but with Mirrodin abandoning the middle, they just gave up a Dragonite for free, and that was absolutely telegraphed. I honestly don't understand what just happened. That seems like a massive brain fart. They get the kill on Chromie, but the Dragonite, I mean, they knew Varian was there, so the second that they abandoned the middle of the map with no hope of getting one of the temples, this was just an immediate fact that the Dragonite would be claimed. So the wall in the middle is gone. They got at least Chromie. I mean, I hate her too, don't get me wrong. I just don't know if I would sacrifice all of this just to take her down. Maybe it was worth it now that I think about it. But, yeah, not quite sure to be honest. Ugh. Then again, to be honest, if I just have to listen to that one more time, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll give a Dragonite up early game to get a Chromie kill myself too. So yeah, that is still worth it. Losing the fort, on the other hand, that is something that I would question. So either Sonya or maybe Falstad should have probably taken care of this. So they just abandoned a few too many structures for my liking. That mid lane is apparently something that they don't really value. They got 2 kills to 1 now. But I highly doubt that in the bigger scheme of things, this is going to be a good trade for them. So, we'll see. For now, we get on level 7 also the Boomerang. For Falstad, level 10 abilities are ready on both sides. And that means Leap potentially after a Maw gets dropped. So they could really tee Sonya up here with that Maw. Depends a bit on when they get them onto the lane. We are still missing Malfurions level 10, so typically you would look for Tranquility here, and he goes for it. Twilight Dream would have theoretically been an option, but they didn't choose that yet. Zagara at the bottom of the map still trying to pressure, of course, as well, and taking those Siege Giants down quickly, whereas we still have some mercenary camps to be claimed by Rospiedol. Now, on the experience side, we have, with minion experience, a bit of an advantage even for the red team, so they did pretty okay there. Quick attack, quickly against Maiev. Careful here, and Falstad is still sitting in the middle. So Falstad could actually pressure if they are not going too hard at the top, but he joins the team. Could have theoretically started to pressure the middle and trigger the Inspire buff here to get more value out of the minion wave. Zagara is going for the next set of Siege Giants after she's initially been pushing the bot lane. And all the way up the top, the defense has already been set out there. So, well, let's have a look on how the blue team is now playing this, because they are aiming for Falstad. Where's the taunt when you need it? Nice Gust. Very good Gust. Even with the root from Alfurion, they weren't able to close that gap to get the taunt through and allow Chromie to dish out the damage. Muradin, still a bit careful here. Jumps out real quickly. And down here the wall is finally falling, but it doesn't change the fact that with one fort in the mid lane already gone, Team Cat Red is a bit behind on structures. Zagara, okay, sneaking around. They really want this apparently. Muradin is jumping in, and they try for Chromie, but the timeout is there. Potential Dragonite now for the blue team. Disc is used. I like how aggressive they were to try and kill Chromie again, but the timeout just completely threw a wrench into their plans. Nobody has gone for the Dragonite in the middle yet, but somebody from the blue team could split off and attempt to get it. Nobody has thus far, and that allowed Sonya to retake at the top, so she took one. Oh, but the birdie gets tethered back in and killed. Falstad gone. Zagara still with a bit of a control attempt, trying to get those Banelins connected for the additional slow. Muradin able to jump out just as he gets taunted. Alright, so they were able to escape, but now we have 2 kills to 2, and Chen seems to be willing to try the retake at the top. Level 13 talent, that spear went nowhere. And in the case of Sonya, we now go for Ruthless. So, Ruthless for Sonya went on level 4 into Hurricane, and is realizing that there's no chance to take Chen away. Still an attempt to go for the camp at the bottom of the map by the blue team, so here's the opportunity to try and steal that. Gust already used. They need a bit more here if they want that camp. Muradin is jumping in, but it's already claimed. And now we have the kill spree against Zagara and Falstad as we had the tether come through from Maiev. So even a chance to go for the next Dragonite. Seems like Rospiedol is starting to gain some momentum here. This is the first time that one of the teams has seriously pulled ahead in experience. And they have a camp at the bottom of the map that will do damage here, while the rest of the team is slowly moving towards the middle in an attempt to get the next Dragonite. Machko is getting targeted by the other hero archer right there. Alright, yesterday we had Chad the Footman, now it's his brother, Shot the Arthur. Chad and Shot, those are the absolute like boss minions that travels to the mid lane, and whenever somebody is trying to get a Dragonite, they are here for an interrupt. But it only delayed the inevitable. We have the Dragonite moving through the middle down to the bot lane now. That fort already gone, and they can now start to do their thing right here. So, it's party time. The disc is out and Brightwing is about to be eliminated. The Fruit Fly is gone. The Gust comes in a bit too late. Nearly level 16 for the blue team. Very nice job by the Polish players. Jhard is trying to jump out here and is already on the run. And, well, Chen still wants them. Damn, Chen actually really wants that kill. So, Chen is starting to jump in. Wants to take him down, and Jhard is able to get away. A little bit of a sad moment here for Itrax, I suppose. But, well, that's what it is. All the way up to the top, that's where we now have Sonya starting to make her approach. Obviously, they need to close the gap in experience, which has now all of a sudden opened up here. The level 16 talents that we're getting for the team in blue are a little bit too much for them to handle right now. We get the Banner of Dalaran right here. Zagara at the bottom of the map, the Zerg Queen in action, but another disc is out. Muradin gets attacked, Tether, taunted. They really want him, don't they? I mean, they are throwing everything against him. Oh boy. And Chen, yeah, with level 16, he came now through with a flying leap, but they're about to take the camp away. Zagara still pressuring the bottom a bit. She needs to start retreating here. If she just pushes for the next wave as well, she is going to get attacked. They're going to flank in and drop her. But thankfully for her, everybody is focused on the top fort, which is the final one standing on the red team side. 34,000 damage for Sonya, and we got 28,000 for Chromie. Zagara now busy in the middle of the map and doing her thing here, as we have, yeah, Urana starting to push for the bottom fort. But as I said, if you're this far out on the lane, you are basically asking for a rotation. That's why Muradin is currently sitting between the lanes, trying to slow this down. With success, allowing Zagara a lot of time here, and it's fully used. I mean, damn, the Inspire buff kicked in as she started to attack the structures here, and this is essentially a fort. Might die, but that fort is oh, the Maw! And that is a fort eliminated, and they were also able to save Zagara. Muradin gets, again, drawn back in, rooted, oy, 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 and Brightwing to the rescue as they try to go for Chen, but Maiev is right there, gets the kill on Falstad, and after flying, Muradin has been eliminated, the ground one has also been dropped. That's the end of Sonya, and that is 3 down. So they took out the fort at the bottom of the map, good effort there, but now the attack is coming in on that first keep. Level 16 talents available on the red side too. 8 kills to 2 in total. Chen is already jumping in deep, trying to zone the rest of the red team away. And with death timer still sitting at 15 seconds, there's no way for the red cats to save that keep. Keep is going to get destroyed, and at the top we also have a big minion wave plus the mercenary camp pushing in to try and take that fort out. Lots of momentum now on the side of Rospidol in this first game of the series. And for the red team, this is obviously a bit of a rude awakening. They're nearly 2 levels behind now. They need to try and close that gap, but it will be difficult, especially once level 20 is available for Rospidol. If they can force a fight before that's the case, then that would obviously be pretty sweet. But this is now 4 structures destroyed in total, and the only thing that they were able to remove was the fort at the bottom of the map with the help of Zagara, who's currently at 30,000 damage. And another objective is already in the cards here for the blue team, as they have control over both the shrines. Varian over on the side. They're looking for kills here. Disc is out. And Muradin gets tethered back into the fight as Chromie really wants him. And Jhard is in trouble. Gets the heal. And thanks to the Gust and heal, is still alive. But still being chased here. I mean, they're not letting go. They really want to go for it. Chen with a full-on Keck play right there and gets out with 50 HP as Brightwing falls. Muradin misses the Stormbolt on a stationary target. Congratulations, that is not easy. And Itrax is jumping after them. Jhard, maybe a little bit drunk on the wheel here. He aimed for the wrong Chen out of the 2 that he could see. That's the only explanation that I have. But that's nearly level 20. So, Storm Talons about to hit, and they got a Dragonite at the 14-minute mark. and their goal is to go for core. Brightwing is already gone, and of course at this point it seems like a foregone conclusion that the Red Cats are going to lose this first game of the series. 20 is there. Oh, the triple more. Where's my leap? I need a leap right now, and we're not getting it. No, it's on cooldown. No leap available. The gust into the corner, and now it's time for Sonya to shine. Come on, girl, you can do it. 1v5 Sonya. Where's my leap when I need it? False set is gone. Sonya gets kicked. The core is already falling. Come on, girl, you can do it. Oh, give me everything you have. Leap. There it is. And it does nothing. Bit too late. A leap on the triple more, that would have been the absolute perfection, but unfortunately not what we got. 13 kills to 2. Rospiedol, they win on Dragonshire against Team Cat Red as they take the lead in the series. Nicely done, GG, and well played. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Map number 2, Infernal Shrines. So the 1-0 lead for Rospiedol, so they already got a point for the board. Team Cat Red with a pretty decent start actually into the game, but then towards the mid-late game that we had on Dragonshire, things started to go a little bit awry. There were a couple of interesting choices too. When we saw that first, I believe it was the first Dragon Knight for Rospiedol, they essentially abandoned the mid lane completely, and all of a sudden the first fort falls. They got a Chromie kill out of it, but I was expecting them to be more interested in keeping their structures in play. Now, obviously, the 10 heroes that we had on the previous maps are now unavailable, so they can't be picked again, which means that in total, with the 11 that are permabanned at this point, we have 21 heroes out of the pool. So, Whitemane gets banned, Sylvanas gets banned as well. And yeah, I'm a little bit curious, especially what's going to happen when we're talking about side laners. Normally, we have lots of games where you have a triple front line, and side laners are something that have been targeted more than usual in the pre-bans. So, yeah, that is a role that eventually could push people a little bit into some weird picks. Kerrigan getting banned now as well on Infernal Shrines. You would expect some mages to be taken here too. Gul'dan's still up, so he's a really nice choice. And we could see Jaina as well if a team is trying to get another composition that can actually operate around CC a lot. With Varian already gone, you still have some alternatives, so what you could use instead. Tyrael banned out too. And, well, let's have a bit of a look over here. Especially when it comes to the first pick, obviously. Leo. Okay, so Leoric as a first pick. As I said, side laners are becoming more of a... well, rare commodity is a bit misleading, but the typical meta side laners are starting to fall off a bit. You still have Malthael, you have Urel, you still have good picks here, don't get me wrong. It's not like we're running out of them completely. Imperius is also still up, but if you think about the usual suspects like Blaze, Dehaka, they're already gone. You had now a few picked also on the last map, and once we're getting into game number 3, that entire process is of course going to be accelerated too. Gul'dan, there's our mage. I talked about him a bit earlier. So, yeah, that's going to be the AoE damage dealer for them. But for the red team, Tychus is still a great option. I mean, it's Infernal Shrines after all. You could even combo that off with, I don't know, Garrosh. Try and go for more of an auto attack style, which we've now seen played a couple of times already. If you play in the rhythm, depends a bit on what exactly your opponent is going to play. But we're starting things off with Diablo and Mephisto. So, an oldie but goldie for a long time with Mucke leading the charge. That was the hero that dominated on Infernal Shrines and also on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Has fallen off a little bit again. Is not getting played that much these days, but we see him occasionally. But on Infernal Shrines, it's definitely one of his better maps, where he every now and then still makes an appearance. Alexstrasza gets banned out, so with Diablo they were trying to get rid of that. Obviously you can do also a lot of research on your opponent's side, and with them targeting Whitemane and Alexstrasza, you can tell that Rospiedol is target banning now specifically here. Garrosh gets banned, and Yeah, what is Machko going to deviate into instead? Diablo is also a great choice here. Diablo and Leo, the duo, is definitely gonna work. You can, with an Entomb, also get another couple of wall stuns in. We've seen similar combos in the recent Underdog Cup, where Diablo was paired off with Tassadar a lot, so that you get the wall from Tassadar, and Diablo can still stun people into it. Right now, Tracer and Anubarak, so we got the Beetle, the Cockroach in the game, more of a dive comp for them. And Tracer, this is something that can really screw with them heavily. So, yeah. Full-on Diablo combo, by the way, for Team Cat Red. I mean, every single hero part of the franchise now, if they go for Deckard Cain as their healer, then all they need is, I don't know, a Cassia pick or something, and they have a full Diablo franchise combo. So they should get an extra bonus if they pull that off. But, well, they go for Greymane, and then drop Ana towards the end for the nano-boosted Mephisto. So that kind of ruins the entire immersion here, but there should be some set bonus or something that you unlock if you go for 5 from a franchise. I guess World of Warcraft is the easiest to pick up there, but yeah. Now, we got Itrax as our final pick as we're heading into game number 2. Keep in mind, every single map is being played out, 3 maps in total, and each map is 1 point for the leaderboard. So, Infernal Shrines, Arthur's the final pick as a side laner here, going up against Greymane also. And with that, we're heading into map number 2, Team Cat Red going up against Rospedal. Prepare yourself for battle. Rospedal in blue on the left, ladies and gentlemen. So, we got Machko on Anubarak. We have Bronick on Lucio, Lavakal on Gul'dan, Arian is playing Tracer for the blue team, and Itrax on Arthurs. Over on the right side, Team Cat Red with the Ana Mephisto combo. Necro playing Ana, we got Urana on Mephisto, Onigiri is playing Greymane, Jayhard, Diablo, starting things off with a Soul Shield here, and we get Drelink on Leoric. So, let's see what they can actually pull off here. They are definitely sharpening things up a little bit. You could already see that in on the previous map. I actually think they played last time also with a sub, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe they are now here with their full lineup. Correct me if I'm wrong. Level 1 for Lucio. We get the smooth moves. So Lucio, that little player, trying to hit on a granny apparently. Yeah, going for Ana from the looks of it. I mean, they are both Overwatch, but still, dude, like, I wasn't quite aware that you are into older women, but hey, to each their own, so you go. I don't know, maybe she likes it. Both healers, too. So they have a lot of things to talk about, honestly. Same franchise, both are supports. Yeah, a lot of similarities. I could see that work. I'd ship it. So, a couple of stacks coming together for Gul'dan with the Echoed Corruption. 7 stacks already, so really capitalizing on that little brawl in the middle of the map. Anubarak gets bullied around a bit by Diablo, but easy for him to, of course, escape here. We get Viciousness for Greymane and Contact Healing for Ana. So, all the way up at the top, still pushing against Drylink a little bit. Arian with his little pony over here, moving towards the middle. I'm matching up against Greymane as the teams are making their play for the camps on the side. I think one of the best changes in the recent patch was honestly that the mercenary camps now start 30 seconds in. You see just way more movement, much faster now on maps in general, and I think that benefits the game as a whole. So yeah, definitely something where I think this is a sweet change that just helps out overall. Now, in this context right now, we got also our Skull Missile build for Mephisto. Once that we have Nano Boost ready for Ana, this is of course going to be quite interesting to see how aggressive they can be on those shrine fights. Arthur's now sitting topside. Level 4 is already starting to kicked in. And at this point, we get the Bed of Barbs, and we got Consume Soul with Subwoofer for Lucio. So, topside, a quick attack here. Still from Itrax. I mean, the Arthur's pick in general, this is something that we've seen now a bit more often. Explained partially, as I already said, through all of the other side laners that have already been eliminated. But it's also something that gets specifically targeted because we are on shrines that Aura alone is already giving you additional value. And on top of that, you're going up against Greymane, who's obviously a big one there as well. Tracer rounds for Tracer on level 1. We're seeing the Pulse Generator on level 4. And Arthur is speccing into Death Coil with his level 4 talent, so also speccing more into the sustain that he gets with this. On top of that, we have Ana now with a debilitating dart and Spite for Mephisto. But it's party time. The objective is up. Blue team is still on lane with Anubarak and with Gul'dan, so it doesn't really seem that they're going for the first Punisher in the first place. But if they continue that pattern, then somebody needs to move towards the middle and bot lane in order to deal with it. And it seems like Greymane is going to be the one to do that. But the blue team isn't quite done with that shrine yet, so they're still interested in fighting for this. And as Leo escapes, he makes it out, but they have to re-engage now if they really want this. Greymane is all the way down at the bottom of the map, and this is going to hurt them a bit. Seems like they're actually willing to give this up with Greymane going for structures. That's not too bad. He activates the Inspire buff here, and with nobody rotating down, Greymane is going to get quite a lot of value here. Takes one tower down, could have possibly gone for more. Tracer is now up against Leoric in the middle of the map and is slowly moving down to the bottom to deal with Greymane herself. But there is a chance that the red team can actually push a bit more. Punisher is jumping in, can't be baited over the wall anymore, so ends up in front of it. We have still not a single kill in this game. 0 kills to 0. Greymane pushing at the bottom of the map again, working with that Inspire buff. We've been talking about how important that can be as you're going for solo lane pushes. Gives you a bit more damage, but up at the top, the Punisher wants a piece of the action as we have them go for Mephisto, and he's the first one to fall. Mephisto is gone. Greymane active in the middle now. They still need to defeat that Punisher topside. It's currently at 10%, but with Ana gone, the sustain is gone. That eliminates Leoric, and they go for Diablo 2. That's 4 kills in total as J-Heart is about to fall. Ooh, gets kicked off the platform even. Oh my god, ping-ponged around on his way back down. So they really don't like him. Diablo is gone, dropped into the pits of hell where he belongs. But that is the end of the topside fort. So the fort at the top lane has been taken out. Greymane at the bottom of the map has been able to take half the wall out. In the middle also some damage, but as you can see here, not all that much. Just the gate, and that is pretty much it. So this is already a really nice spot for Rospedol to be in. They've taken the lead in experience thanks to that. And with them now having also the passive experience increase, they're of course going to widen that gap further. At least that stands to be expected. With level 7 talents, we got Immortal Coil and we have the reverse amp for Lucio. But now level 10 is going to kick in, and then they can start pushing for either more structures or just attempt to force a team fight instead. Horrify and Cocoon will do that for you. And they go Syndragosa. So, Syndragosa is in the house. Captain Hitsugaya would be proud. We got another dragon raining in the skies here. It's not quite Horomaru, but still, it's the budget version, I suppose. And they could definitely start to unleash it now. They have half a level left until the opponent has level 10. There's Horrify, and Mephisto is the target once again and gets murdered. So, Mephisto gone, J-Heart still able to retreat, but the blue team is getting more and more control here. Yeah, they are definitely doing a fantastic job on this. The next objective is, by the way, also down at the bottom of the map. So right here, Inspired Minion Wave is doing their thing. And Diablo trying to bully Anubarak a little bit, but with limited success, and instead he becomes the target again. Leorki gets now eliminated by Arthas. That's fitting as well. I mean, that is definitely lore adequate, if you ask me. But right now, here comes the next push against Gul'dan. Burn, baby, burn. Nice, easy kill against Gul'dan, and that was the first one for the red team. So, they're able to take Gul'dan down. Not sure if they're able to capitalize on this now, though. They're still being pressured at the bottom of the map. Arion with Tracer was in some trouble, but they're having problems dealing with Tracer in general. Greymane is the one that really has to deal with this later on. Here comes Syndragosa, and Mephisto is dead again. 8 kills to 1. They're chasing Diablo, and I got news, he's not gonna make it. So, Dibbles is about to go down. Had his soul stacks at least, so he'll be back. The only souls that he keeps are the 25 of the Blizzard executives that were working hard to cancel HGC and the Heroes esports scene. Those are just too evil to be yeah, to be let roam free. So Diablo is keeping all of them. They have a special place in his heart, figuratively and literally, so they're not going to be released. But everything else he just dropped, so that he has his back up alive. 20,000 damage from Mephisto, by the way. 23,000 for Tracer. A couple more camps now being claimed, but the team is falling farther and farther behind in experience. So right now we have 1.5 levels that we're talking about. Yeah, and they have full access now to that bottom Punisher, and that's a frozen Punisher. So this one is gonna hurt. That fort is gone. That's the second fort that got destroyed. So they can carry that straight towards that keep. They can also just simply let that Punisher do its thing and then bounce towards the middle and ensure that they're gonna get value there. But with a talent advantage, a level advantage, and a pretty strong objective, there's a very good chance that they're now trying to see how much they can actually do here. Once again, the jump in front of the wall as now the usual. And this is dropping this thing way too quickly. By the way, once that the Frozen Punisher is done for, we have Syndragosa too. So Arthur's, if he joins the fight at the bottom of the map, currently is topside. But if he joins, he could use that as well. Currently not the case, as the Cocoon comes out. 9 kills to 1. There's the Horrify, and poor Mephisto gets bullied all day, every day. I mean, Mephisto, this is just not fair. He gets bullied around all day long, and this is just not okay. In comes Arthur's, and yeah, they're gonna try and get their kills right now with Greymane already getting murdered. Now they're going for J-Hard again, and this time Diablo's gonna be down for good. Of course, they're gonna take that keep out, and to be honest with you, there's a chance that they're snowballing this towards the core at this point. Punisher jumps in, wants a piece of the action, goes full John Cena on Leoric, gets the jump, the stun, and then the kill. And that opens up the core pretty wide. So here's the big opportunity to end game number 2 before we're heading into the third map of the series. Level 16 talents already kicking in. We got 33,000 damage now from Tracer. Diablo at 24,000. They're slowly starting to respawn, but the core is losing hit points and is now down to 75%. Syndragosa, perfect corridor. That's Mephisto gone again. He's more dead than alive at this point. 26,000 damage for him, but he pays for every bit of damage with his life. Diablo is now also gone, and the core is losing more hit points rapidly as the Winions are coming in and the rest of the blue team is now doing their thing. So that is game 2-0 currently. Rospierdol with a victory on Infernal Shrines against Team Cat Rat. Nicely done. GG. Well played. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. 2-0, and we're heading into our final map, the third map of the series. Battlefield of Eternity is that map, and the map choice has been made by Team Cat Red. So let's see if the Polish team can get themselves a 3rd point, or if the red team gets themselves at least 1. Now, Whitemane gets banned again. I mean, you can clearly see the target bans against the support side of the red team. We have now our 3rd map, which means that 20 heroes have been played and are therefore eliminated from being played again. And then you have all the pre-bans down here, so they add to that, which means that right now 31 heroes are banned before we're even moving into the draft itself, where of course another 6 are being banned out. But at this point we have Uther also eliminated. And yeah, with Li Ming getting the axe on Battlefield of Eternity. Actually, thinking about it, who's actually left for real good damage on Battlefield of Eternity? Li Ming is out, Hanzo is out, Reyna is up, so you could go for Jimmy. Vala is eliminated, so probably Greymane has been played too. So Jimmy is probably your best damage dealer at this point. We could see the Atanis trap again. Atanis starts to make a bit more sense in the context of all of these heroes eliminated, so that is a big thing. Zeratul also out. But we get Tyrael, that's what we're starting things up with. But yeah, with Trash Tannis it still can be a little bit of a liability. Tyrande, obviously, if we're talking about just supports with Hunter's Mark, you can still chip in and help out there. Tyrael kicks us off, and I would be a bit surprised to not see Jimmy in some kind of capacity. If you want to have a different damage dealer and auto attacker, then Suljin is of course also an option. We've seen him already in action, I believe, yesterday. And Sylvanas, nice, yes, okay. She just keeps slipping my mind here. Sylvanas plus Rhaegar are taken. And for the blue team, what's the follow-up on Tyrael? We could of course see something around Judgment, if they don't want to go Sanctification here. Judgment is getting played more than Sanctification lately, but we've seen both. Sanctification with Rhaegar, with Greymane though, so it makes contextually just way more sense. And here comes Bambi, so we get Lunara and Deckard Cain. So the old geezer finally makes an appearance over here. Bronick, yeah. And for the final few bans for this series. I gotta say, I really like this 3-map system. For Meta Madness and a round robin, it makes perfect sense. I was thinking when we created the tournament, I was thinking which format would make the most sense if we're gonna do some kind of group system, and I really thought that this would make it more interesting since we are guaranteed a 3rd map in every series, which can already push the hero pools a little bit more. But obviously the big one will be the playoffs later when we have best of 5s and we can see map 4, map 5. We'll have likely, through those sub-goals that I mentioned earlier, more pre-bans as well. That's when things will get a bit more crazy. Deathwing gets banned and Malthael has also been eliminated now for our final map of this match. Double pick for the red team. So we still need our side laner. And with now 2 of them banned out, Imperius would be an option. So he's still up, gets taken. Thrall is all... There's Thrall, okay. So they pick 2 immediately. Could run Imperius as a main tank, of course, as well, depending on what Rospedol is now going to do. But this is exactly what I said earlier. If we have now all of a sudden teams that go for multiple triple frontline picks in, let's say, game number 1 and game number 2, then towards the 3rd map, you will start to see those options dwindle. Now, blue team, final 2 picks. Still need a side laner for them, of course, as well. We get Jimmy, that was to be expected, and Garrosh. So Tyrael side lane and Garrosh as the main tank. Yeah, might even go for a 2-3 split at some point. But last but not least, we still need a pick for the red team. So they already have a pretty well-rounded draft here. Jimmy obviously with really good damage against the Immortal. So they need to deal with him somehow. If they want to go for a triple front line, they can certainly do that still. And our final pick for Team Cat Red is Auriel. A double heal. Double healer lineup. Alright, so let's go. Battlefield of Eternity, the final map. Can the red team get themselves a point in this series? We're going to find out right now. Blue team on the left. Rospedol in game 3 with stacks for Jimmy. We got Arian playing Reyna. Bronick on Deckard Cain, Machko on Garrosh, and Lavekal is playing Lunara with Itrax on Tyrael. Things are getting a bit more interesting when we're looking at the red team. There's definitely a chance that we're going to get some bloodlust from Onigiri on Rhaegar, considering that they're playing 2 supports. Jayhard is playing Imperius for the team. We got Irana on Sylvanas, Drillink on Thrall, and then Necro with Auriel going into Righteous Assault as the level 1 talent. Jimmy obviously has to start to stack this pretty rapidly. We have Deckard with the field study on level 1. Still waiting in the meantime for the rest of the talents to be taken, but with Imperius now also going for Burn the Impure, a little bit more damage on his side. And Tyrael just double checking and instantly jumping back out, more so tempting the opponent and trying to figure out where exactly they position themselves. This is the one chance for the red team to get themselves another point in this series. For Rospedol, from the start, this was... Ooh, Thrall already gone. Ouch. For Rospedol, this was from the start a series where they were aiming for 3 wins. They need those points. I mean, it is a big race trying to get towards the top of the leaderboard. If you position yourselves in the top 2 spots of the leaderboard, not only do you qualify for the playoffs, but you can also skip the first round in the playoff bracket, which is a pretty big advantage to have. So something that the teams will fight for fairly heavily. But at this point, we have topside Still, Itrax and Arion play. And this is actually what I talked about at the beginning during the draft, that I would not be surprised to see a 2-3 split form them. And that's exactly what we are currently seeing here. So, yeah, they are going for a bit of a different split than what you normally can see here, because they know that Tyrael would have a very tough time against his opponent. Not what you usually aim for, but they are kind of forced into that right here. 7 stacks for Jimmy. A little bit of a flip happening now as well. Down here at the bottom with Machko trying to create some space for them to claim the camp, which is not really working out because the red team is now making their own move on it. But it's a 3 versus 3, so this could go either way. Top is still getting pressured and is a nice back and forth. But down here at the bottom of the map, it is Team Cat Red that is aggressively pushing in. Deckard Kane coming through. There's the flip. They're taking the point with Oriel, have to take it again with J-Hard, and they are able to lock themselves in against Garrosh. Garrosh gone, and that's not only the first kill for them, but also they're getting the camp on top of it. So pretty sweet, and yeah, it's going to help maybe to push that bot lane just a tiny little bit before the first objective is up. The teams have not gone for their shaman camps, by the way. So nobody has made a move yet towards the camps, but instead it's all about them trying to take the bottom structures out. Sylvanas is helping out pretty significantly with this. And they're getting the gate, they're getting one of the towers, and even number 2 is about to fall. So that's a pretty successful bot lane push before the objective is up. The camp is still a priority for them. They are maybe a bit late here, so if the blue team can get Jimmy in position, they will take a significant lead on this. But the Shaman camp will be claimed. But here comes Jimmy. Aaron is moving in, and this is gonna help. Now, to be fair, Jimmy does not have Exterminator, so it's not like the murder damage that he can get with the additional level 1 talent here, but still, as the single target damage dealer for the team with the help of the rest, he is able to get the majority of the damage out against the Immortal. They win the halftime show. Took some losses there too, though. And yeah, with them just going for a race, it's pretty clear who's going to take it. Rospedol will walk away with objective number 1. There is some extra damage done by the camp at the top. If the red team could have delayed this maybe a little bit further, this might have done even more. But they are damaging all the walls here. The Immortal is moving down to the bottom of the map and will have to be met there. And as they're now going for their camp, instantly the attack from Sylvanas, and Machko is about to fall. Tries to turn it around. Here comes also Thrall from the top. Machko still alive thanks to Potion Boy. They want that camp though. Necro has to retreat, but they got a double support here, so there's plenty of sustain that they can still run. But they lose Imperius, and the blue team locks in the camp, and now Sylvanas becomes the next target. Even with the double support, they weren't able to keep everyone alive. Now level 7 abilities are available for Rospedol, and they can go for the next kill, this time against Oriel. So, job well done. 4 kills to 1. Dryalink is getting attacked now as well, and this is easily going to be the first fort. And with 5 kills to 1 and the lead and experience that comes with it, this is of course a huge win now for Rospedol. Taking the lead in XP overall, and even damaging the bottom keep wall. Now, there is a huge minion wave still with this that has an Inspire buff, thanks to all of the heroes that are pushing together. But they're not quite able to get the entire wall. It's still a win, and a big one at that, getting that fort and being able to take this many heroes out too. So, yeah, this was pretty big. Now, down at the bottom of the map, they go for the next camp. Yeah, going for camps is one of the problems that the red team has. I mean, it was a bit of a gamble. They lost the boss, and then they realized, hey, we can invade this. So initially, it looked pretty good, actually. If they would have made that work, that would have helped a lot. Get that camp, force the opponent to defend. But it's, of course, always a risk that you take. Because if you lose the gamble and you lose the fight, then you have less heroes that can actively defend against the push that is about to come. And then you are in trouble. And that's exactly what happened there. Now, it could have worked out for them, but it's always a risk to take. Where you have to consider if it's worth it. And, well, Team Cat Red just decided, boys, let's go. We gotta risk something, so let's try. Backfired, and now they have to try and recover from that position. They are not that far behind in experience, though. All things considered, it's actually pretty impressive. They are essentially on even XP. But this is a nice little push at the bottom of the map. take that wall out and drop that fort to less than 50% of its HP. So this was really good by Sylvanas. This is the beauty of having a bit of a side lane push Sylvanas if she is not met by the opponent. If nobody deals with her, then she is going to get crazy value thanks to the Inspire buff on the minion waves now. And that's exactly what played out at the bottom of the map. Now Lunara is trying to go for counter pressure. They're half a level ahead and they're using it now for level 10 abilities. Oh, the whip into the wall, and Tyrael says bye-bye. Bye-bye. He's gone, but the counter kill on Thrall. They still have heroic abilities. Even with Tyrael gone, you have your heroics there. Sylvanas is jumping out, barely, but she makes it. And they're about to hit level 10. Now, we get the Warlord's challenge for Garrosh, and we get Judgment. The objective is up, and this is what the blue team is focusing on now. But we have heroics on both sides at this point. And that gives us mind control for Sylvanas. We got the angelic armaments for Imperius. And no Bloodlust. I actually expected Bloodlust with the double support, but they're going for 2 panic buttons. They have Aegis and they have the Ancestral Healing now. With Thrall heading into Earthquake. I expected Earthquake and Bloodlust. Slow them down with an Earthquake. Allow yourself for more Bloodlust uptime in the fight and make it difficult for the opponent to disengage. They decided to not go down that path and instead go for the double panic button. We'll see if it works out. Now they have to prove themselves with another defense at the top. We're 8 minutes in now. And Rospedol will be aiming for fort number 2. They're going to try to take this one out as well. So, yeah. Right now, the action is slowly coming up. As the top is getting pushed. Tower is about to be eliminated. Easy kill. Bam. But the fight. Ult already used from Imperius. Oh, and they're both getting sectioned off. Here comes Earthquake from Thrall. They're trying to turn this. Mind control. And that is Tyrael. Tyrael is dead. 5 versus 4. Defense should have a much easier time now, taking the Immortal down. But here comes the Hyperion again. Ancestral already used. Imperius Aegis has to be used as well. Ancestral got essentially denied by Deckard here, and now Imperius falls as a result anyways. So once again, top is getting pressured. They can get some mini damage in on that wall, but the team is doing a great job on this. So we got 15,000 damage on Thrall. Top damage dealer for the red team, and Jimmy is doubling that. He's doubling it here. So, well, we have 30,000 for him. Tyrael died twice. Insta report. 5 reports incoming. And, yeah, well, quests are completed for Thrall as well. It's level 4. We got 36 stacks now for Jimmy. He's getting there. He's getting good numbers out. Considering that we're not even 10 minutes into the game yet. Yeah, Tyrael could actually go into Holy Ground now if he tries to section him off here. Talon advantage is ready. Jimmy is not here yet, but Tyrael gets again targeted and dies. So Tyrael is gone, and they are hoping for more. I mean, they need to force the fight, right? They need to do something. You all of a sudden have a numbers advantage. You might as well try and get something out of it. But the blue team is slowly starting to move back and disengaging from the battle itself. We have on level 13 now the Sword of Justice. Another whip into the wall right there. So, Yrel with a couple of nice moves here. Definitely an hobby archaeologist in her spare time. I would not... It would be kind of funny, by the way, if you had some skins where you could have accessories that you can either activate or not activate. Imagine just some of the typical skins for Auriel and you just give her a hat. She just gets a brown hat. If you could make the whip a little bit more Indiana Jones-like as well, that would be great. But just imagine this skin. A skin where her hat just doesn't fit at all, and all of a sudden she puts the brown hat on. It would be absolutely amazing. And then you just get the quick whip going. I would actually... That would be something where I would probably be like, yeah, that might be worth it. But, alright. Well, in this case, Machko... Oh, there's the mind control into the Earthquake, and Machko is dead. Gets killed. Kill number 5 for Team Cat Red. Imperius gets saved too. They have the numbers advantage once again. If Blizzard ever wants to try and refinance HGC, there's actually something that they can do very easily to do that. Well, All that they have to do is they need to design a spray that shows the opponent the middle finger, maybe even an animated one, and put that in the shop. That by itself would instantly refinance HGC. I mean, my wallet would be ready for that 100%, and I can only imagine how many quick-matched heroes and, you know, Wood League players would instantly go for that. The only way to communicate with the opponent outside of a B-step, and if you had just that nice little middle finger animation, that would refinance HGC for years to come. I mean, they'd be rich. But, yeah. So, 7 kills to 5. Halftime show victory this time again for the blue team. But they can get kills. It's 14 to 14. And who knows, maybe Team Cat Red has an opportunity here. They are trying again to get that kill. The problem is that their own Immortal is now on the left side. Prime position for the blue team to dish out slow damage, with Lunara in particular. And they are getting that in as we speak. So we have Thrall over on the side doing at least some damage. Jimmy now with 48 stacks on level 1. He is increasing his damage as we speak. Now sitting at 50k. Easy top damage in the game for him. Not even close. And Arian is just doing work here. Attack after attack. One connect after the next. Here comes Judgment. They go for Jimmy. Nice penetrating round. But Sylvanas goes deep for him and gets the kill. Jimmy gone for the first time in the game now. So again, they have the numbers advantage, but they keep losing the objective. This one is also going to be claimed by Rospiedol. And while the blue team is losing more and more team fights, they're still winning the game itself. They're winning the Immortal. Aegis! The double heal is really screwing with Rospiedol here. They have a tough time breaking through this. But Team Cat Red is not getting as many kills as they need. They're catching up in the kill count, but they need to spiral some of these fights that they have won already, essentially, faster than they do. And that starts to become a problem for them. Now, the defense at the top should be a bit easier now. And of course, Rospiedol is also realizing that they are starting to lose some of their grasp onto the game. And since every single map matters in this format, the 2-0 lead is great, but it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. You have 2 points, but you want 3. So this is the one that gets fought over. And nothing is as old as yesterday's victory. Or in this case, the victory on the previous map. Judgment! They need to get a little bit more done here. Judgment comes in. They go again for Oriel, and she's gone. Oriel is dead just before she has Aegis back. Now Imperius is gone, and that might have just broken the spell. It's a triple, baby. They go for the triple kill. The topside keep is gone. The Immortal still alive. They have 16, and this is the chance to end this series by locking in another W. Get 3 kills out of this match. Team Cat Red in trouble. They're trying to defend with what they still have left here, but it's just not going to be enough. That's a victory. Rhaegar's gone. Sylvanas is gone. And that's a 3-0 for Rospiedol in the match against Team Cat Red. Nicely done. GG and well played.